Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we doing? I think that's a bit too loud, small bit too loud. Not by much, but a small bit. I hope we all are well this Saturday. It's been a wet one. It's been raining a good bit. I know we are 5 minutes early, so apologies for that. Well, it's good to be early, but yeah. I hope all is well. And apart from the weather was just atrocious. You wouldn't do much that day. There's a storm coming. Storm Dave, I think it is. It's supposed to be here tonight. It's pretty bad around the west coast, etc. Happy Saturday. Hello, Sean. Good evening. Are you happy with the storm? Storm Dave is coming. You don't want to deal with Storm Dave. Storm Dave's going to be very dangerous. Not Storm Adrian. Storm Dave, I think. Dave, I think it's that, isn't it, Dave? I think so. I know there's a storm. It is pretty windy out there now. I can see there was some flights suspended at Dublin Airport and stuff because of the wind. Yeah, I think it's Dave. I'm not sure, but hello, Libby. I think that's how are you doing? Happy Saturday. Hope all is well with you. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Of course, it's a bank holiday weekend too. I was just actually seeing, just speaking of a bank holiday, just when I actually have it in my brain. The Gaudi have caught an insane amount of people. It's only 48 hours, and they've caught 1,400 people or something for speeding. Like, it's insane. 1,400 people in 48 hours. That's an insane amount of people they've caught for speeding. 1,400 people. Insane. And you wonder why there's accidents and stuff on the roads, because people are speeding. But that's only in 48 hours. So by the end of the week, by the end of the bank holiday weekend, Jesus Christ, it could be 15,000 people who are caught for speeding, because it's just that bad. It's just that bad. No, just when I thought of that, the bank holiday, only remember, just in case I forget it, because later on I probably will forget. So it's insane. So I hope everybody's having a good, safe bank holiday weekend. There'll probably be, unfortunately, a lot of accidents and stuff this weekend, because usually in the bank holiday people go mad. Particularly young people go mad. But yeah, apart from that, not much. To answer your question longly. But yeah, I'm a few minutes early. I know people would say, what is this? Give me a moment just so that I make sure everything is good. I think we are good. I think everything's good. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, we're getting into a big discussion. There's many things to be discussed about Iran. Many things to do with here and stuff. Of course, I've been away for the last 3 weeks, so nothing in the space has been discussed at all. So you know the usual routine. We'll give it a few minutes for people to get in and stuff. Get in. But to come here and stuff. So yeah, how are we all keeping? How are we all doing? Any fun this weekend? Any plans, I suppose, for the bank holiday? Is it everybody just chilling at home, or what are we up to? Because a lot of people go away for the bank holiday, would you believe? Would I rather $1 million? No, I'd rather go, San Amount, of course. But then again, you could use that $1 million to, how would you put it? Get her to go to what they call a speaking event and stuff. So you could basically use that $1 million to have a few speaking events. But I would rather the other one. Yeah, I would rather the opposite. She's a pretty cool woman. So yeah, I would not take the €1 million. I say a lot of people probably would take the million, but Sorry, I'm just looking at this other thing too. See, I'm always getting distracted on live streams. So something just popped up, like a news story. Every once in a while, it pops up on the side, and I'm just reading through it. I get distracted. I get easily so distracted in these streams. But basically, what I just said there, Donald Trump says he wants to unleash hell on Iran. Imagine on Easter week, he's using the word "let's unleash hell on Iran." Like during Easter week, you think he wouldn't be using that kind of language on Easter, like coming up to Easter, Sunday and Easter Monday coming up too. And obviously, yes, there was Good Friday too. So it's insane that that president and him claiming to be a Catholic and stuff and believing in God and stuff. It's terrible language to use, like to bomb places to hell and to the Stone Age and stuff around Easter and stuff. Whatever, but it's terrible any time of the year, but particularly around Easter and stuff. That's a long question. I've been there 4 times. Like, I've been there an insane amount. I'm only recently back. It's a long story, as I say. But yeah, I've been there 4 times. I have. Well, yeah, 4 times. Am I right? Yeah, 4 times. Yeah, sorry. I forget myself, to be totally honest, a lot of the time. Um, yeah, it's four. It is 4 times. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it is actually 4 times. Yeah, I see. I had to think about that. Yeah, see, I'm there so often, I forget now. Yeah, I've been there just there in March, gone by, like what they got around St. Patrick's Day. And then I was there in November for Santa Mountain's book, Hope in Action. And then I was there in May last year. No, last year, yeah, May last year in Tapuai and Helsinki. And then I was there the year before that. So I'm basically there all the time. Yeah, so yeah, 4 times, yeah. I had to think about that for that because I couldn't remember. Time flies, to be totally honest with you. Because last year I was invited to St. Patrick's Day, but see, I was going in May last year. And I said I'd go this year instead. So pretty much I knew since last year we'd be going. I never said anything, but it was quite a surprise for some people. But yeah, so I've been there 4 times. I haven't been to many places in Finland. I've basically been always around Helsinki. I've been in Tampere. I've been in Latte recently. I've been in Hämeenlinna. That's about it for Finnish cities. But I'm always really stuck around Helsinki. Technically, I was going to go to other places in Finland, but then I got the flu and stuff, and I didn't go. So yes, that's on the plans for some other time. Already drawn up the plans, but yeah. But yeah, so that's basically that. Let me see. So yeah, we will get started on the second, talking about Iran and talking about everything under the sun. There's a lot to talk about. So yeah. Oh, is Sean still here? Actually, I forgot to ask. Just for a second. Let me see. Just give me a moment. I probably would go back to Finland. Like, I probably would go back to Finland. There's a few other places I want to go to in Finland. So I probably would. Either that, if Finland wasn't an option, probably Norway. I'd like to go to Oslo. You think I would go to Oslo? Oslo is closer to me. But no. It's the only reason why I never went to Oslo. I could have went. I was going to go to the what was it? Not the Oslo Business Conference. This is back 2 years ago. I was going to go to the Oslo Business Conference. The only reason why, because they don't use the euro. At least in Finland, they use the euro. They use Norwegian krones. Different currency, and it's very confusing because I tried to work it out at some points and I couldn't work it out. But no, I was just saying, Sean, you have to come on sometime because I haven't been on to you since. But you're probably still busy with your own personal life. You can see when I went to Finland, I forgot all about it. Only after taking about it out. But yeah, so I pretty much would go back to Finland to answer your question. It's a really nice country. When the weather's good, when the weather's a bit better, because it was cold St. Patrick's Day. That's how I got the flu, because it was just bitter cold. It wasn't that it was snowing; it was just cold. You can hear the wind outside now. Yes, I am a Catholic. Yes. I actually got around to seeing the Catholic Cathedral in Helsinki. I meant to go before, but I never got around to the St. Henry's Catholic Cathedral. I meant to go many times, but I finally got around to it this time. But yeah, it's a very small cathedral, I have to say. If a cathedral is not that big, but I suppose there's not that many Catholics in Finland. Like in Helsinki, there's only 2 Catholic churches that I know of. Anyway, the rest of them are like what we would call Protestant. Over there, they would call Presbyterian churches. Lutheran churches, that's the word too they use over there. I haven't been in the St. Mary's one, the St. Mary's Catholic, the Catholic Church, but I was in St. Henry's Cathedral over there. It's a quite old church. Like the door, I didn't even think the door worked. Like the door must be 200 years old. In St Henry's Cathedral. Like the door was old. Like I never seen such an old door, and it was a ton weight. Like Jesus Christ, I don't know how anybody ever opens it. If it was an old woman going in to light it, like you couldn't light candles in it too. I was going to light a candle, but you couldn't do that for some reason. So I don't know. There was nobody about too. I went in, there was nobody there. There was no priest or anything. So it's unfortunate because I wanted to light a candle, and that's the only reason why I went there. Because it was closer to that than the St. Mary's Catholic Church. That's just a story from when I was in Finland recently. Just when I was talking about it. So yeah. But there is still a good few Catholics around too in Helsinki. I don't know about other places. But definitely. I presume notifications and stuff didn't go out. I presume I don't think Sean or anybody got notifications. It's unfortunate. See, this is what YouTube nowadays, it just doesn't work. It just refuses to work for me. Like over in Helsinki, I don't know if it's something to do with just the phone or the computer. A lot of people got a notification when I went to Finland. That time when I was live in Helsinki. You can barely hear the wind in the rain now. Hopefully the power doesn't go out and stuff, which it shouldn't go out. But you never know, this is Ireland. Anything could happen. So yeah, we'll get started talking about it. Well, the one thing I want to talk about first is Iran. So as you know, it's not going too well for the American administration at the moment. Yeah, they would call it Gaelic, but you call it Irish too. I can't speak it that well. I'm dyslexic and stuff, so I never really learned Irish at school. But a lot of people don't speak Irish a lot. It's in the Gaeltacht. There's a very small minority. People are coming back a good bit Irish too at the same time. But I can say Banya. Banya is milk, just to say Banya is milk, and Doris is door. Madra is dog. Hindu tree is up to 9, to 9. But apart from that, I can't speak fluent, like a sentence in Irish or Gaelic. You can use the two phrases. But not many people can, not many people can. It's a language that's dying. Well, it's coming back a bit nowadays. A lot of young people are actually getting into it now. But there used to be a lot more Irish speakers than there's today. But see, it's the English and stuff like that. But I suppose it's good that Irish people can speak English too, because it's a universal language, if that makes sense. It's like if I went over to Finland, like when I was over there and stuff, I couldn't just start speaking Irish. Nobody would understand me. So yeah, it's good that they can speak English and stuff, because it's kind of a universal language, English. Like in the United States and England and Australia and New Zealand all speak English. It's just kind of like how would you put it, the number one language, I suppose, in the world too. A lot of African countries speak English and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, the war in Iran doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. Going by what the US president said, excluding potatoes. I don't know actually what would be my favourite class as Irish food. That's actually a good question. I don't actually know. I have a few potatoes now and again, but I wouldn't classify as my favourite Irish food. I know in Finland and stuff, people like their salmon soup. They're very fond of the salmon soup and the Corellian pies, etc. And all the sweets too. They love the sweets. I can't really say what would be my favourite Irish food. I like my, what would you call it? We wouldn't really call it like a food, but you call it like a breakfast. Like a full Irish breakfast, sausages and bacon, and eggs and stuff like that. I would say an Irish breakfast is lovely. I would say that's probably nice. It's nice in the morning to get you started for the day ahead. But I don't know what you classify that as favourite food. But that's what I would say. Because there's not really, apart from potatoes and stuff, there's not like too much. Like in Finland, they have Corellian pies, etc. Not really such a thing here. Yeah, so that's what I would say. I don't know if that's the answer. What do Irish people give you? But that's what I would say. Because I don't really eat like overly too much, and there's not really much things Irish people eat in general. Like Irish people eat a far range of stuff. Um, if that makes any sense. Well, the majority of Irish people do. Like over in Finland too, there's a lot of gluten free and neutral food, whatever you call it, gluten free, and then this that kind of food. There's a lot of that in Finland, not so much here. It's very not something that you come across often here. But yeah, going back to Iran, it doesn't look like it's going to start anytime soon. Of course I do, yeah. Of course I do. I think anybody would. But of course it's going to take a lot more time. Probably take another 20 years before anything ever happens. Like there. Because it's obviously with the consent of the Irish people, if that makes any sense. And the consent of the people of Northern Ireland. So we see what happens there. Is that you, Aaron Only? Is that the real Aaron Only? You've disappeared from us. Everybody was looking for you. Like, I mean, literally everybody. I had literally 2 people on to me trying to see what happened to you. They didn't know what happened to you. They thought you disappeared. But no, sure, that's, just come back to the question. I think every Irish person would want it to happen. It'd be an end of a history. It'd be an end of a chapter in Irish history. We'd be able to put it in the past. Or the pain and suffering that was caused over the division of the 6 counties. So hopefully someday, but it's still probably another 20 years off, but it's more likely now than ever, if that makes any sense. But of course, by peaceful means, of course, by referendum, by the choice of the people of Northern Ireland, because at the end of the day, it's the people of Northern Ireland decides that. But that's the story for, I suppose, differently. But I would be happy enough if it happened. But again, only with the consent of the people of Northern Ireland. If they wish to rejoin Ireland. But yeah. Is this your old account, Aaron, only if it's still here? Because I went looking for your channel and I didn't know what happened. It didn't show me your channel. So were you just suspended for a few days? Is that what happened? Oh, you didn't get banned or anything, right? Your profile picture is gone. I can't see it here. Like, it just shows a black dot and stuff. So I don't know what happened there to your profile picture. Yeah, like a lot of people were worried about you. A lot of people didn't know where you were at. But yeah, good to see you back, and I hope you're well anyway. Because a lot of people, 2 people were very concerned. Like, they reached out to me privately to see what happened. And to be totally honest, I wasn't paying attention for a good while what was happening. Because I had a lot to do since I came back from Finland. I'm back only a week. Imagine, last Saturday was only coming home from Finland. So a lot of stuff, I had to unpack the suitcases and stuff today. And so it was a lot of stuff the last few days too. So. But yeah, but going back to Iran, now it doesn't look like any time soon that it's going to stop. So unfortunately, it's probably going to go on for another few more months. So who knows how long more that's going to be. But yeah, clearly the United States is not winning. The channel I posted. How to undo it? That's a good question. No, I seen the button before. You can do that, yeah. But I couldn't tell you because I never actually done it. But I seen it before on the YouTube. I know what you're talking about. But it should be simple enough. It wouldn't be that bad. But no, I went looking for you because I'm subscribed to you and I couldn't find your channel either. So a lot of people thought you were banned and there was a whole hiatus of it. If you were to marry Santa Maria, whoa, calm down a bit. Would you pick Mountain? Probably, maybe, yes. But yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, that's a bit. What would you call that? But yeah, I suppose the short answer would be yes. But but no, it's good to see you back here, because there was a good few people concerned. But yeah. Also, is that your on Twitter? While you following the account, Like it has your old profile and stuff on it. I don't know if that's you, because I've been following it for a while. And I thought that was you. I was going to message it, but I didn't know it was a you because because I follow a lot of people on Twitter and stuff, so uh, it's hard to know. And of course, I couldn't message this again. Like I had his messages off. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, so the war in Iran doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon, unfortunately. So we see what happens, but definitely there's going to be a shortage of fuel, and the jet fuel, of course, too, and other stuff. Oh yeah, I know where the thing's from. Yeah, but there isn't a cow kind of like it, with your profile picture. So I thought it was you. So lucky I couldn't message them because I would have been like, "Oh, is this Aaron only?" Because I was going to message them at one stage. I could show you now just what I'm talking, so you don't think I'm gone mad. I thought it was always you. That's why I followed it. Let me see. Not to out this person or anything, just to say. Um, I just thought it was Aaron only, just to say. I've nothing against this person or anything. Give me a second. Probably won't find it now. Wait, you see, just to show you that I'm not losing the plot or anything. Um, just give me a moment. Where is it? There. Just give me 2 seconds. Sir. That's it. No, sorry. Just do it this way. Yeah. So this is it here. Um, kind of had your profile picture and stuff. I thought this was you, but I couldn't. Obviously, can't message them and stuff. But yeah. But anyway, so yeah, going back to Iran. So yeah, it's going to continue for another few months. So Donald Trump didn't get his easy war. He thought he'd be in and out and they'd be done with. Like Iran's fighting back. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen them shooting down American jets. Now Donald Trump has claimed that all the air defense is gone. Oh yeah, no, but that's what I thought. I thought it was you. But they were lucky I couldn't message them because I wouldn't like, what's the sound only? I would have looked like a fool. But no, that's okay. No, I just thought that was you. I don't know what made me think that was you, but oh, that's a long story now. That one's a long story. I've talked about it before, but I was always interested. Like the Irish government are talking about copying the Finnish education system. To put it nicely, they are talking about copying it at the moment. Um, I was always interested in the education system, the welfare state, the welfare society, etc. And mainly to Scandinavian lifestyle, etc. And of course, Finland, even before it became the happiest country in the world this year, always was very high up, along with Denmark and Sweden and Norway and Iceland too. All of them together were always, and it's still to this day, they're always high up in the World Happiness Report. Um, so it's always very interesting that. And of course, Anna Maron, I heard about her when she was on the Tapbury City Council. Now, this is back a good while ago, but not that long ago, actually, when you think of it too. But yeah, and of course, being the youngest prime minister in the world, the list goes on. Many achievements. But it kind of just shows that anybody can become anything. And I suppose that Santa Mountain has said herself, only for the welfare society, the free, like total level education and stuff. That helps Santa Mountain, I suppose, because she came from poverty and stuff. Um, so only for the welfare state and the welfare society, I don't think Santa Mountain would be where she is today. Um, like in Ireland, that would not be possible for somebody to come from Santa Mountain's background and to rise to the prime minister, etc. Like it's an interesting story, but that's just the short version because I could literally go on for 2 hours about it. So we just keep it short because we drive everybody mad. But yeah, so it looks like high electricity prices, high food prices, high everything for the next God knows how long. But hopefully it soon end. But the worrying thing is too the aviation industry and the tourism industry is probably going to go under. What I mean by that, Ryanair has said that they only have enough fuel to the end of May. Michael O'Leary, I'm sure people have heard Michael O'Leary before. But he has said there's only fuel until the end of May for Ryanair. So what that means too is that Ryanair won't be able to take off from Ireland or going anywhere else. So there's going to be huge issues coming if that continues, because obviously people won't be able to travel, tourists won't be able to come to Ireland, etc. And of course, the price of flights will fucking skyrocket. Uh, like we already see it in a lot of countries, it's skyrocketing. It's an insane amount. People have been charged for flights at the moment, because jet fuel too. You have to remember they can't get jet fuel too because it comes from the Middle East. But it's all a fine mess Donald Trump has created, and that's really not even Donald Trump. It's Benjamin Netanyahu, and oh, I know about the economy. Yeah, I'm very, very aware of this. Yeah, I'm very aware of all the problems in Finland, the high unemployment, etc. But Finland never really recovered, and this is the thing: Finland never really recovered after the 2008 financial crash. They never really kind of balanced the books and stuff. So there's many issues, but I suppose you could really not blame any. You could blame the Cohen government for the mess that's caused, because they kind of made it 50 times worse. The Cohen government. But Finland never really recovered after 2008. Ireland was hit bad by the 2008 financial crash, but Ireland recovered pretty well. Finland kind of didn't, and it's many reasons, I suppose, to it. Of course, a lot of Finnish people are aging. There's not enough young people in Finland, not enough people having children, etc. in Finland. And of course, the huge defence spending. It's insane amount of money for such a small country like Finland. But it's needed. It is needed to have a huge defence budget. And of course, the welfare state and free education and stuff. But people do seem to be happy. I know it sounds stupid, but people do seem to be very internally happy. Even though everything's collapsing. I didn't think Finland would be the happiest country in the world this year. But it's inner happiness. It's hard to describe as the Sisu spirit. That's what I would say, the Sisu. It's hard to describe, but you can see that people are, it's in inner happiness more than outer happiness. And especially because a lot of Finnish people seem to be happy enough, content with whatever they have. Like in Ireland, a lot of people want more. We want a bigger house, we want a bigger car, we want this, we want that. Finnish people, like I've met people that were struggling and stuff when I was there recently and stuff, of course, due to the government cuts, etc. But they still seem to be happy, even though they have less money go home at the end of the week, or have to cut back on a few things here and there. They do seem to be happier. If this was in Ireland, people would be outraged if they had to cut back on different things. Like I met a woman, she said used to go out every week for dinner, like at the end of the week, go out with her husband for dinner. Now they don't do that, so they save an extra, maybe €60 a week, due to the government cuts. It's not that they lost their job, or it's just to save a bit because the price of electricity, etc., it's gone up, etc. But she doesn't seem to be too worried about it. If that was in Ireland, the people would be a lot more vocal about it. If that makes sense. It's like she didn't seem to be too bothered. She seemed to be content. I cooked the dinner myself and stuff. That's basically what she said to me. And she didn't seem to be very annoyed about it. Like, there's obviously other situations that people have lost their jobs, etc., rely on the Finnish state for finances, etc. And of course, the Finnish state is coming along and cutting their money too. And of course, they're getting abuse, probably thrown at them by the Cohen government, the true Finns, that there's plenty of work. What are you talking about? You're just too lazy. Basically, that's what's been said to a lot of people. But but people seem to be generally content, I suppose, in a way. It's hard to describe, but that's what I have seen. Considering the situation, the unemployment situation and stuff, it's very people. It's very stable. Like what I'm talking about, the people's. It's hard to describe that, but they seem to be pretty stable. Because if that was in any other country, you couldn't in Ireland. Just take for example, if it could be 10, but we're talking about nearly 500,000 people out of work, which is a huge amount of people for such a small country like Finland too. You're talking about 10%, nearly going on 11% unemployment. It's huge. That's huge for a country like Finland. It'd be different like it's America or France, big countries with big populations. But Finland's such a small country, and of course the record bankruptcies. But a lot of this is just to do with the economic policies too. The growth is not there. There's no growth at all, whatever the situation. But the problem is They've kind of just cut themselves into a corner, like death by 1,000 cuts, basically. That's what it's basically become. Because the only solution they have is cut everything. You'll cut everything to the bone. But that's not going to create growth. Yeah, like you live in Eastern Finland. I presume somewhere like, what's it called? Like near the Russian border, somewhere around there. I know where you're talking about. Or isn't it? No, that's Western Finland. Or Eastern Finland's Turku, isn't it? So I'm getting confused with my Finnish maps. Yeah, Turku, around that area, some part of there. Is that what you're talking about? But yeah, but it's not that the investment and stuff. The policies of the current government, not very pro-investment. That's the thing. Like the government in Finland cut the corporation tax and give rich people, a huge tax cut. And they expected that money from the corporations that they cut the corporation tax. They expected them to reinvest that money back into the country. Basically, that was stupid because they took the money and ran away. Yeah, I'm getting confused. Sorry, I'm getting confused because I'm not that great with the map of Finland. I'm good with the map of Ireland, but it's hard to describe. But yeah, you live in what they call Kurvolahti. It's something like that, like where the drone went down recently. That part of Finland, or Hammer, and Porvo and stuff on that side of Finland. I can never think there's another city, Lati, but it's something like that. Hello, Moon Hunters. We have to play Call of Duty later on. But yeah, I can never. There's other Finnish cities there, and I can never think it. I was supposed to go to some parts of the Finnish border with Russia and stuff around there, but obviously got the flu and then I couldn't go. Probably all the better that I didn't go because there's drones falling out of the sky. That was literally as soon as I left that happened. But no, it's not even that people are not willing to invest because of the Russian situation. It's more the economic policies of the government are not favourable for people to invest. And of course, cutting things is not going to grow things, because the current economic situation has been exacerbated by the policies. And of course, you have to remember too, there's big, huge things coming down the track for Finland. What I mean by that is, for years, Finland has, more than any other country in Europe, declined in homelessness. In Ireland, that has never happened. Ireland is just going up and up and up and up, and it's never going to stop. But in Finland, for years, they had no homeless base. They had literally nobody homeless, like literally nobody. They couldn't really find anybody that was homeless. And unfortunately, now homelessness has increased by 120%. So that's just in the last 2 years. And of course, there's no money to basically house these people, look after them. And the problem is that it's increasing. You will see even in a town just outside Porvo. It's like a fishing town. Like it begins with a K. I can never think of it, but it's between Porvo and Hammarland. Is near the Finnish, where the biggest flag in Finland is. If you know what I'm talking about. Like there's 80 something people homeless in that city alone. That's only about like 20,000 or so people there. But it's pretty concerning because the numbers only can exacerbate, go up. And unfortunately, probably by next time when the election happens next year, you could have maybe 4,000 people, 5,000 people homeless in Finland. And this is the thing, it's going to take years to sort out that problem. And not even that, we look at the mental health cuts and stuff that's been taking place. Like the huge issues there, because many people are unfortunately committing suicide and stuff because of it, because it's extreme cuts in the mental health department. And of course, alcoholics too. Finland years ago used to be very bad with alcoholics, still probably to this day in a lot of cases in some parts of Finland. But this is the thing, they cut alcohol support, drug support, etc. So they're all going to come back and cause a lot of trouble in years to come. About 10 years' time, it's going to cost a huge amount of trouble. So we're better probably fund and keep funding it than taking away the funding because it's going to cost them more in the end, if that makes any sense. Because it's just one-away stuff. But what do I do for work? Well, I work on the local council here, like in the waste management, I suppose you would call it. It's hard to describe what we would say in Finland, but the local authority, basically. I used to be full-time, now I'm part-time now, but I'm going to go to college at some point. I'm at a college course at the moment, but it's only part-time too. But yeah. I like how this just turned in. I was talking about Iran and stuff, and then we just talked about the economic situations. But yeah. Oh, everybody else is very quiet. What is wrong with everybody else tonight? Um, but hello, everyone. Sorry, there's a good few people after joining us. Hello, hello. Sorry, we're too busy yapping. That's the problem. But it's good to. I suppose it's good to yap. It's better they can talk and stuff. Um, but yeah, so pretty much the Iran situation is not going to be solved anytime soon. Autism banned. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. To be totally honest, I really couldn't tell you. To be totally honest, to be generally honest, I couldn't tell you. I generally don't know. I listen to a lot of music on the side and stuff, but I don't really have like a band that I always listen to. If that makes any sense. Um, like Richie Cavan and stuff. Like it'd be Irish music, but Richie Cavan is great. Indeed, I agree. Let's go, Brandon. I agree. But yeah, no, I would say Richie Cavan is an Irish country and western singer. He was. He's obviously retired now, but there's other bands. But you probably wouldn't know them. But what is this? But yeah, I wouldn't really have a favorite one that I'd be putting on every night if that makes any sense. Just give me a second, just to look up this here. Yeah, no messages. Okay, that's fine. No, just making sure nobody's messaging me. But yeah, the other thing I want to talk about too, and I'm sure you've probably seen this, there is a big plan for a protest going up to Dublin, and it's to do with a lot of places actually. Let me just get the information, make sure that I'm saying this right. Saoirse told me to mention it on the community post. It's a good finish, but yeah, he's used like your metal bands anyway. They probably speak Finnish and stuff. Yeah, so the huge talks about protests at the moment, national fuel protests. This is on the 24th. We're talking about in Dundalk, we're talking about North Meath, etc. Going up the M50, basically blocking the whole roads to Dublin in protest of the fuel prices, particularly by truck drivers. Truck drivers are facing a huge amount of increase in petrol. And you have to remember the trucks, everything has to be put on the shelves. And how they get there is by trucks. Like, let's be fair. You take, for example, any food you get in the shop, has to be delivered there by a truck. It doesn't turn up there magically. So they're facing huge increases in the fuel and cost. And of course, that is added to the consumer, you have to remember too. So the government should probably do more to help out the truck drivers because, let's be fair, if the truck drivers are struggling, the food's not going to be there. And of course, that's going to lead to higher prices for food, etc. So it's in the government's interest and the nation's interest to cut the fuel expense for the truck drivers by even 10%, even if it's something, it'd be something at least beneficial for everybody, it'd be beneficial for society because it would decrease the cost of food on the shelf. Even as I say, by 10%, it's still better than nothing, but probably they should cut it by nearly 20%. And the government should cut some of the carbon tax, particularly for truck drivers, and particularly for the only Irish Joe too, they probably should, by at least 50%, if most, or even get rid of it for the moment and bring it back some other time. Because it's just basically a cash cow for the Irish state, the carbon tax, along with other taxes. But it's all very concerning. Because we hear the Irish state talking about carpooling, what Eamon Ryan was talking about a few years ago, in that one village would have two cars and everybody takes turns of going in the car. Like that's what Eamon Ryan was saying a few years ago. Now the government are saying it now. And then they're saying about working from home, etc. Schools, probably in colleges and stuff, will work from home. So pretty much like climate lockdowns, if that makes any sense. That's pretty much what's been suggested at the moment. Not yet, it's not been planned yet, but they put it out there kind of. But we wait and see. But pretty much, if it continues, the war in Iran, it probably will be. Because there's simply no fuel coming to this country. Yeah, no bother. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. We chat again. I hope you have a good weekend. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it too. But yeah, so we see what happens there, but hopefully something will happen beneficial to society. That the war will end. That's hopefully the main thing. That the war will end before the end of the month, hopefully, because if it goes on any longer, there will be issues with the supply of oil, etc. And of course, Ireland could get oil from its own territory. What I mean by that is there's oil in the Atlantic Ocean in Irish waters if the Irish government wanted to mine it. And of course, we had used to have tough power plants, etc. And you won't use them because they're too afraid about the polluting the environment, etc. And that would be a solution to some of the electricity problems in this country, but they won't do it. It's utterly ridiculous. And then we found out the other day that the Irish state in 2024 imported 100,000 tons of like basically tough from Egypt, even though in Ireland you wasn't allowed to cut tough, basically. Peat, it was peat, sorry, not tough, but same thing, peat, tough, same thing. But that's what happened. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy. Make that make sense. That they were importing from Egypt, but we weren't allowed to cut it here. How does that make sense? It doesn't. It just simply doesn't make any sense. Like, why in the name of God would you do such a thing? Do you get it? But yeah, so pretty much it's absolutely lunacy unleashed in terms of the Irish state. In terms of what's happening in the world too at the moment, it's lunacy unleashed. And it's concerning. It's really, really concerning. Because we see it just it's causing a lot of poverty. And who knows how many jobs it could cause and stuff from places closing down because people will be able to afford to live in a lot of cases. And especially if it's going to be a bad summer, it's not going to be great for fuel prices and for electricity, and not even that too. For people's heating heating oil and stuff, it's not going to be great. But hopefully so. It would hope to improve. The other thing I want to talk about is bus Éireann. And bus Éireann has increased the retirement age to 72 for its drivers. So basically, they want you to walk until you drop dead. Now, first of all, the government obviously wants to make people walk until they're 70 here in general. So it is really concerning that they're trying to push this on, that you walk until you're 70. So basically, they want you to walk until you drop dead. And as you know, if they just give the bus drivers, because again, there's not great money for a bus driver, it's decent enough, but it's not great. If they give them a full wage, if they give them a decent wage to get drivers, that's the problem. They simply won't pay the people to drive the buses. And they want people basically to work for nothing. So if they pay people, they get people. Simple as that. So it's utterly ridiculous that because again, when Bus Éireann does it, other bus squads will do it. And eventually become the normality that you retire. You'll probably be 80 by the time you retire. And being a bus driver too, it's a very, you have a lot of responsibilities, etc. Because it's not like you're dealing with people that's probably unruly in the bus, and especially if you're dealing with children. School bus driver, it's not an easy job if you're dealing with young children, etc. Trying to keep them safe, and of course the roads are not the safest as they used to be. But yeah. So is there anything anybody wants to say, just to say too? Because I'm yapping on, because I have a good lot of stuff to discuss. So if anybody wants to say anything, or anybody wants to ask something, please do feel free. Because I'm just kind of yapping. Because I did have a lot to say at the beginning of the stream and stuff, and I got distracted by stuff and had a big discussion about things. So I'll probably not get through everything. What there was something else I was going to say to you. Now I can't think of it. What was it now? What the name of God am I talking about? What was it? Give me a moment, sorry. Oh yeah, but Germany. I wanted to just talk about Germany for a second. Now this is to do with the German army. I'm sure people have heard about it by now. That the German army is stopping young people from, I think it's 18. Yeah, 18 to 18 to 45. Yeah, 18 to 45 from leaving the country. Now, this is wrong on so many levels because first of all, you're forcibly stopping your citizens from going, say, to France or to Denmark or say Sweden or wherever. Like even if it's a holiday and stuff, you have to get the permission of the state to leave to go to another country. Like it's absolutely insane that they would say this. But yeah, it's absolutely madness. But yes, it's crazy. It's a crazy world. That's all I say. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention actually, Helen McAtee's off on a visit to Ukraine. Now everybody's very upset over her giving 40 million to Ukraine. Um, while there's people literally with scoliosis, children here with scoliosis dying as we speak, because they won't operate them. They won't use the money to operate them, to look after them. But yeah, what do you expect from the Irish state? And the other thing I want to actually talk about, just speaking about use of money and stuff and how it's just been fired around the place. I want to just briefly talk about Dublin City. And this is to do with 4 toilets in Dublin city centre. Right, 4 toilets. You'd be like, that's great. They get public toilets. But this is the thing, 1.5 million each for 4 public toilets. So that's 4 million, 4.5 million for 4 toilets and a sink. And the thing hasn't even been built yet. They give permission for it to be built, but they haven't even built it yet. So great stuff. Imagine that. So at least 1.5 million for a toilet and a sink. Like for one toilet and a sink and a mirror maybe. 1.5 million. And that's 4 times over. Like it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like it's a scam. Like we're talking about scam Bondi in the United States. By the way, scam Bondi has got the kick. But it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, no bother, Greenface. I hope you're well this evening. Oh yeah, well you get serious scales in Clare. We're getting serious ones here now the last hour or so. But definitely in Clare, you'll be blown away probably. But yeah, we'll probably not go on for much longer because we only usually stay for an hour. There was other stuff I was going to talk about, but then I got distracted and stuff. But I do have some other news actually. I'll say it in a second. I'll wait for a few minutes. Who is here at the moment, just so I know? Like I know Green Face and stuff is here. So I know. I say probably notifications didn't go out too, just to say. Unfortunately. I think they work better nearly on the phone. Like when I was over in Finland, more people were seeing the stream, I think, than in any time recently. Which is insane. I don't know why that's the case. I presume it works probably better on mobile phone. I don't know. It's all weird. YouTube in general is just weird too. But yeah. Let me just check. What is this? Sorry, just what was something else we could talk about? We can't think of now. I'm telling you that there's too much happening these days to try to remember it all. But yeah, just talking about scam Bondi, just briefly just touching that again. So of course the Attorney General of the United States got the boot from Donald Trump, which is not much loss. Everybody's delighted. Nobody liked him. She probably should be going to prison. And never be allowed to walk anywhere else again. Because it's absolutely ridiculous. Like how much of a cover up she done. In the Epstein files. It's absolutely mad. And the fact that she can just walk into the sunset now after like covering up for pedophiles and stuff that abuse young women, etc. And she just walks off into the sunset. Because she basically had as she said before, it's her own words. The Epstein files are on my desk, waiting to be reviewed. And then she came out and said there's no Epstein files, you know. So I don't know about you, but definitely she's up to something. Or definitely trying to cover something up. So the fellow that's going to replace her is even more useless. And wouldn't basically has arrested no one. Pam Bondi's arrested no one. And it's got nobody for the Epstein files. Has arrested nobody. It's done nothing. And this other fellow that they're talking about, for the Attorney General, it's the same. Like, he's useless. He's no good for anything. He's good for nothing. So nobody's going to be ever arrested for anything relating to Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, the Iran war too is a distraction from Jeffrey Epstein, because there were some serious questions have to be asked about Jeffrey Epstein and what people knew, and the evidence that's been shown. And we do have all the files. We still don't have them all. But yeah, it's just a cover up to the highest degree. But yeah, is there any questions around it? I think we might need to leave it there. We'll just chat among ourselves for the next few minutes. How does that sound? But how does that sound for the moment? We'll just chat among ourselves. We'll just chill out for the next 10 minutes. Now, I didn't get into all the topics. There's many other things I wanted to talk about tonight. But see, I got distracted because I was having to ask questions and stuff. So yeah. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, now we might do this next Saturday. We see how we get on. We could do the Wednesday. But would anybody be interested in the quiz? Now, there's a few conditions to this, but would anybody be interested in it? Just ask. I probably should have said this earlier on, but I'm too busy fucking yapping. And just to see, because it'd be only probably for people that are regularly here and stuff if they want to join. And there's only 3 spots, unfortunately, too. But would anybody be interested in one? Probably next Saturday would be probably the best time to do it, because I have to kind of go over a few things before we do the quiz and stuff. Would anybody be interested? I don't know if Sean's still here. Is Sean still here? Because we still have the workout times and stuff. It'll probably be in the evening time anyway. Next Saturday. We were doing the next Saturday. Of course, we need to get people to be in the quiz. But yeah, would anybody be interested? Nobody. Nobody's interested. Everybody's like, no. No fun allowed. The state forbids fun. Just make sure the chat and stuff is not broken. What have I done? Clicking everything. Oh, now the wind is getting a bit dicey. A bit dicey. Oh, my eyes itchy. So nobody's interested in the quiz. Jesus Christ. Everybody's very quiet. Everybody's like, I'm going to get shot. Still listening. Would you be interested in the quiz, Aaron O'Neill? Would you like to be in a quiz? Now, there's a lot of explaining to do behind it, so we just need 3 people. Even if we can get 2 people, we can do it. Oh, you tried to figure out sentence, yeah. I never kind of done that, so I seen the option before, but it's been a while since I done. Were you on a quiz? I remember Sean was. Yeah, Sean definitely was, but I don't know were you on it before specifically. I can't really remember. I don't think so. I remember Sean was. Sean was, yeah, and Assassin was. I remember Assassin was, but I don't think so. Would you like to join the quiz? We'll not tell you what it's about yet. But it'll probably be next weekend by the time we get around to it. If we get around to it next week, because there's a lot to go through. Because there's a few conditions. She could have been, yeah, she could have been, but I don't know exactly. But he wasn't in the cavan day one. Like, she wasn't. Because there's only 3 spots, unfortunately. Like, it's a Kahoot kind of thing. So, yeah. But of course, we need to still finish it and stuff. We're working it out at the moment. It take another few days before we get it finished, but we should be able to do it next week if we get the people. So basically, it is a quiz. It's a kind of Kahoot. And of course, the top prize is €100, and then the second prize is €50, and then the third prize is €30. Um, that's if we get obviously three people. If we only get two people, it'll be €100. Or we do maybe we'll see what happens, but it'll be €100, then €50, and then because it's not that many. Like it's not a big quiz. Like it's not like before where we had 30 something questions. It's only like maybe 15 questions, so it's a very short enough quiz. We should be done within 20 minutes. We obviously not go fly through it, but it should be only about 20 minutes at most. But yeah, so basically the only condition is if anybody wants to join it, you have to have PayPal. PayPal. Yeah, you're limited on the mobile. Like the best things to do is on the computer. Like any settings on YouTube is better to do it on the computer. Like that's why I always change my stuff on the computer. I never change it on my phone, because you're limited on what you can do on your phone. If you have a computer, that is too. But yeah, so the only condition is that you have PayPal. That's the only condition, because we need to send you the money and stuff. Is that good? So is anybody interested? Now, mainly we hope that there'll be people that like are here regularly. We'll not just take random people. Usually we take random people, but we just want to give people who are usually here some kind of fun, because they're part of the community and stuff, and they're here all the time. So I'd much rather have Sean, for example, or Aarononi, or even if we could get Fiona involved, or Shisha too, or even other people, Greenface, if Greenface is still here, if he wants to do it either too. But of course, the only thing is that they need PayPal or some kind of. We could even try and get them an Xbox voucher or something like that if it's necessary. But of course, there's only 3 places too. There's only 3 places that we can take in people. So it's not like we can have a list of 30 people, But would anybody be interested in that? I know it probably didn't go. Maybe it didn't go through well enough. I'll tell you what it's about and stuff, but it's just kind of general stuff. It's not like nothing too major. It's not like Pythagoras' theorem or something like that. Would you be interested in that, Aarononi? I know Aarononi might be interested. But it won't be long. It'll only take, maybe not even probably take 30 minutes, 15 minutes the most. Everybody's very quiet. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, be praised. I have a pimple on my, like behind my ear, and it's annoying. Jesus Christ, be praised. But yeah, so we probably leave it to next Saturday, and we'll not do the Wednesday. Yeah, because there should be just 1 or 2 more questions I probably should add. But we should be fine for Saturday next week. Of course, if we can get people, we had to get 3 people first, though. Even if we can get 2 people, we're better than nothing. But yeah. But that should be that's the plan. Oh yeah, if we can get them too. But would you be interested? You're not interested. Jesus Christ. But like it's basically because I did promise that we would do one back a while ago, and we never did. Like it's not that long, just to say and stuff. I say Sean might. If Sean's here, I don't know if he's probably gone now. But Sean was in the last quiz. Fun fact, Jesus Christ. Why'd you do that? So then you probably can't answer, because there's no way, if you would come in second place, there's no way of me sending that €50 to you. Unless I send it by post. Unless we get you a PlayStation voucher or something like that. Or an Xbox voucher or something. Something like that, maybe. Would you like, I don't know if you play, you probably do, I think isn't it PlayStation, yeah. Western in your cash, I don't know. But no, we could do something like that. But it would have to be PlayStation or Xbox or something, like €50 voucher or something. If you wanted to join. Instead of like the money, we'd get your voucher instead. We could do something like that, but it would have to be only like, it couldn't be just an insane like something like I don't know. What's some like insane vouchers and stuff. A taco voucher. Remember that there was a taco voucher once I seen somewhere in Ireland, like for a taco place and stuff. €50 voucher for a taco place. Like that was insane. Like, imagine buying somebody €50 voucher for a taco place. But yeah, so yeah. But would you like to join? Would you like to join? We could probably work it out. How we would be able to give it, even if we didn't have paper, we could probably work it out. If you use PlayStation or something, like we could probably work. Probably would take a day or two for me to get it. But if you want to, we could try it. We work it out. It's not like you see what I mean. If at least they know who you are and stuff like that. I'm not saying I know who you are. I'm not going to come to your house and stuff. But you get what I'm saying. I know who you are compared to say if it was a random stranger that I never knew. At least then you know I can work it out with you in some way, even if we have to send you the money and stuff like that. We could even look at that too. The only problem is about getting the person the prize when they win. So we'll do. Should I put your name down? Like we're just we're trying to recruit people here. Like it's not like you're going to be shouted at or something like that. Become told or something like that, just to say second or whatever. Even if we get two people, just about literally two people. I know you're figuring out your settings there, but this is probably the worst time to be annoying you about it. Would you like to join the quiz? I probably not put it up in the community post. I was going to put it up in the community post, but I don't really want random people just joining. If that makes any sense. I'd rather people that are here in the community join. Here every once in a while, like for the shits and giggles. Like we used to do giveaways and stuff back in the day. We should probably get nearly back to them. Like it would be maybe a €50 voucher here and a €50 voucher there, and something like credit and something like that. We probably should nearly go back to that at some stage. See, the only reason why we kind of stopped that because it kind of wasn't fair. A lot of people did say there was because there was random people just joining, and random people just get it instead of people who were here. If that makes any sense. So that's kind of how that all stopped. Because it's not really fair. Like some random person comes in and gets it. And I suppose people were right in saying that too. Because it wasn't really fair. There was some random person that won it that never was here in their life and just But see, we're doing spins and stuff like. It was just I wasn't picking it. It was just we were putting into a thing and it was spinning and picked out a random name. But of course, this is a quiz. This is different than just giveaways and stuff. Whoever comes first comes first. Which is a lot better in my opinion too, because it's a bit of a competition too, and it's a bit of fun compared to just a spinning thing, spinning thing. The boy whistles. So yeah, we'll probably go in a second. Imagine Tony wasn't here too, but yeah, let me know, Aaron, if you want to join. I need to know any point by Wednesday. Because if we can't get anybody, then we probably can't have the thing. But yeah, I don't know who else is here. Who else is here at the moment? I know some people are looking. And that's okay. There's not a crime to look, but if anybody wants to join, anybody that's like here all the time, don't be afraid to ask. Or you can even ask me later on if you don't have to say, "Oh, I want to join now." Like I'm always open. People have my Twitter account and stuff. You can message me there at any stage, or on the community post, even if you wish, or anything, even on in the community tab, or even just in the YouTube comments stuff. But yeah, I think we'll probably leave it there because I have to. I said I would play with one of my friends tonight. That sounded a bit wrong. I said I'd play with one of my friends on Call of Duty, and the old Call of Duties. So, yes, so that's more like it. Instead of the other way around. We're not doing that. So, yeah, is there anything else anybody wants to say just before we go? Because, I'm kind of I'm on borrowed time at the moment. Power time. Oh no, that sounds a bit dangerous. I always make things sound terrible. Jesus Christ, be biased. But anyway, I think we leave it there for tonight. So do please let me know. I know you're working on different things, Evan, only. But please do let me know by Wednesday if you want to join or not, because we can work it out. Even if you don't have paper, we can try and work it out. See, that's the good thing, but knowing people and stuff. At least then you can work it out compared to random posts and stuff. But yeah, if anybody else wants to join, we can try and fit you in if you have PayPal or whatever. But again, this is probably next Saturday. We see. I don't know what time yet, but try and have it maybe a small bit earlier than evening time. But we see. That's if all goes to plan, But hopefully it does, because there's not too much work been put into this quiz, but there's a bit of work. So yeah. Yeah, I try and join. Hopefully it doesn't crash and blow up. But yes, that's what I said I'd do tonight, because it's been a good while since I played with them on Call of Duty. And especially it's the OG Call of Duty, Call of Duty World of War, etc. So we'll play some of that and we'll see how we get on. Hopefully there's no models, etc. But yeah, so please do let me know by Wednesday, if you want to join. And it's a shame Fiona, and I think probably Sean probably would want to join, but he's left the building, he's left the country. Typical. When I watch Sean, he's never here. But anyway, let me know, everybody. If anybody wants to join, don't be afraid to ask me. We try and fit you in some way. It's only 3 places, but we try and do something. But yeah, how does that sound? So it's pretty much first come, first serve. Bandai, yes. Well, here, take everyone. Enjoy the Wednesday night. Enjoy the Wednesday bank holiday weekend. We'll hopefully be back Wednesday. Hopefully all going well. And of course, hopefully we'll have the quiz next Saturday. We'll see. Touch wood, of course, we need to get people first. So yeah, take everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night, and goodbye, and have a good rest of your night. Thank you.